Hey, welcome to another episode of Paragon Comics recap of the new Batman Reborn, currently ongoing story arc over all the Batman titles. Had wanted to do this once a month, but there's been so many books coming in, I'm probably going to do it about every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But we got 4 books to do. We got Batman and Robin number 2, Batman number 688, Red Robin number 2, and Streets of Gotham number 2. They're all pretty good books, and we're just going to take a look at them one by one. We'll start with Batman and Robin number 2 by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. This comic started out pretty well in the first issue as a mainstream tights and fights comic, but I can tell already it's starting to take on that Grant Morrison surrealistic vibe. This issue begins with what would be a pretty normal action scene as this group of circus freaks attacks the Gotham police station, and of course Batman and Robin take them down. But since this is Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, it's not your normal fight scene. I mean, look at this 2-page spread of Batman taking down one enemy. And to its credit, this is at least original storytelling, but it seems a little drawn out. Then there's Damian. Man, this character really annoys the hell out of me. Look at this panel where he tells the villain, "I can cripple you from here." The rest of the book deals with Dick Grayson whining about how he doesn't want to be Batman, and of course Alfred has to give him a pep talk as always. I thought it was a little cheesy, and the way Alfred talks and what he tells Dick to do sounds very Neil Gaiman-like. Overall, I have to admit I at least like this comic, but it's certainly original, but there's a fine line between original and flat-out bizarre. I do like Frank Quitely's art. Reminds me a lot of like 1980s Frank Miller. He's one of the few artists that can really sell Grant Morrison's script. So, pretty good book. Batman and Robin number 2, check that out. Next, we're going to look at Batman number 688. This was written by Judd Winnick with art by Mark Bagley and Rob Hunter. This was a pretty standard Batman comic. It reminds me of something from the 80s or 90s. It's very standard, episodic, comic book style comic. Starts out with Batman beating up some bad guys, and it turns out they're Penguin's men. And like a good villain, he loses his mind when he finds out he's been stonewalled by Batman and Robin, or set up or whatever, I don't know. Thwarted, I guess. There's also Dick Grayson again complaining to Alfred about having trouble playing the role of Batman. Why is Dick Grayson such a baby? I mean, I guess it's meant to be, inner turmoil or something like that, but it doesn't seem very dramatic to me. Anyways, there's a lot of action, or there isn't a lot of action, or much of a plot to speak of in this issue, but it's told in such a way that you can tell it's part of a larger story, so it works. I wasn't too crazy about Mark Bagley's art, though. It's a little too cartoony for me, especially for this kind of story. I think he's better as a Spider-Man artist. So overall, Batman 688 was a good read, but it seemed a little short to me. Moving on to Red Robin number 2. When did Tim Drake turn into a total jerk? Well, it's not really his fault. Ever since his dad died a few years ago, the writers have turned him into this hard-edged, brooding character. It's basically a young Bruce Wayne, but with an even worse attitude. Anyways, this story is another standard comic book style comic. It deals with Tim Drake fighting some of Ra's al Ghul's henchmen in Paris. Literally half the story is a rooftop fight scene, which is pretty interesting, I have to say, because this book is so heavily narrated, and I do mean heavily narrated, that Tim always tells us exactly what he's thinking and what he's going to do before he even does it. I'm still not too crazy about this art by Ramon Box because it's very amateurish, I think. It's certainly cartoony, which is ironic because Chris Yost writes this book like something very hard-boiled, like Deathstroke or Vigilante, like those Marv Wolfman books from the 80s and 90s. I think this story and the plot in general is fine, but the script is a little muddled. I do think this book has the potential to be a really high-end superhero comic And so I definitely have high hopes for it. If only they could get a better artist. So, Red Robin #2, check that out. Next up, or last I should say, we got Streets of Gotham #2, which is definitely the best of these four for this month. Of all the current Batman monthly titles, I think I like this one the best. It's probably because it's written by Paul Dini, who's been a veteran Batman writer for like 15 or 20 years now. And Dustin Nguyen's art perfectly suits his story. It's cartoony, but it's stylized. It's very blocky. And I also is one of the very few comics where I'd comment on the color. So that there's it includes the whole spectrum on almost every page. As for the story itself, there's a lot going on this issue. First, Hush escapes, then there's the appearance of a new, or maybe the return of an old hero, but we don't see who it is. Then there's Firefly versus the Black Mask, and somehow between everything that's going on, Batman and Robin show up, so there's a lot of action happening too. Pretty breezy story, few jokes here and there too. I also this book, I love the ending. It looks like it's really going to go somewhere. So Streets of Gotham, check that one out. Looks like, and you don't have to have read any of the other books to understand what's going on. I mean, if you want, you could just subscribe to just any one of these and without having read the others, and you probably wouldn't even be lost or anything. So that does it for this recap of the Batman Reborn arc. Once we get some more books in, I'll do another recap. So come on by Paragon Comics, check us out. And again, thanks for watching. And now a word from our sponsor.
Are you looking for a unique comic shop experience? Would you like to save up to 30% off all monthly comic books, trades, and hardcovers? Do you appreciate an extensive, reasonably priced back-issue library that is easy to browse, including CGC-graded comics? Do you want the graphic novel savings and selections of a big box store without waiting for a coupon? Then Paragon Comics is for you, a modern, family-friendly store for today's comic book reader, as well as the serious collector. At ParagonComics.com, you can manage your subscriptions, check out our weekly specials, and shop online from the convenience of home. Come see us for yourself at 1243 Kings Road. Just look for the Paragon Mobile. Paragon Comics, your local online comic shop.